It's a great space. It is. It's very, it's got a lot of character.
Let's call to order the March 2nd, 2026 City of Washington, Missouri Board of Adjustment meeting. Roll call, please.
Gwen Marshall,
Present.
Samantha Wacker,
Here.
Lori Sherbert,
Present.
Kevin Creedy,
Here.
Mark Scornia,
Here.
Mark Piontek, Aaron Beckman.
Here.
Will you join me in a pledge of allegiance, please? Please stand.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Does anyone have any questions about the November 10th minutes?
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Let's talk about file 260301.
Yes, good evening, board. This is the applicant wishes to reconstruct a garage over on 306 Locust Street. This is the subject property here, kind of close into downtown. 3rd and Locust is the closest intersection here. Here's an aerial view of the house and the garage they wish to reconstruct. There are multiple reasons why that under our current zoning, they cannot reconstruct the garage as is. The most prominent one is that garages are not allowed within the side setback. There is a provision in our zoning that allows the zoning administrator, to waive the side setback up to 4 feet in older parts of town, but the garage is 2 feet to the side property line, so that is not applicable here. So another provision of why they can't reconstruct the garage as is, this is in our supplementary regulations. Accessory structures may occupy a rear yard, but such accessory structures shall not be nearer than 5 feet to any side or rear lot line. Both of which it is definitely closer than 5 feet. It's 2 feet away from both property lines. And then, yeah, as I mentioned, side setback, kind of the most prevalent one. And then we've got, this is a survey of the property showing that it's 2 feet away from the side and the rear property lines. And this is the garage that they want, the new build, what it's going to look like. Also important to note, this board approved a variance for a very similar garage down the street. I don't have the exact address, but it's about a block south. And the applicants are here tonight if you want to come up and talk about your project.
Philip James. Thank you very much for having us tonight. This is my wife, Melissa, and our contractor, Aaron. So, yeah, we live in a 1921 Craftsman-style home just right down the street. When I was talking to Aaron originally, it's a glorified white shed that's there right now. Nothing against white sheds, but that's kind of what it is. And so we want to take that down and build back a more period-appropriate garage. And I know a lot of people may not get this. I know you do, but 3, 4, 5 feet on a lot our size makes a big deal. Melissa drives a Honda Pilot, so she would be able to pull into our garage easy. Even if it were moved over, I drive a 2020 GMC Sierra. 5 feet parking that is a big deal. And so the request we have is to be able to to build that back in the exact location to that architecture style that we showed you, so we can move forward with the project then.
And then what's on screen now is what they currently have.
Yeah, that's a photograph of what we have today.
Okay. Questions from the board?
Has this gone past Public Works? I'm assuming this was before easements back in those days.
Yeah, there are no
no
easements or
utility easements there. Okay,
no.
Got it.
You mentioned the property south a couple.
Yes,
blocks
let
down.
me pull that up. It was this.
Right.
Wait,
Two houses
I'm all
down.
turned around.
Just to the,
Sorry, this home right here, 320
Okay.
Locust, yeah, for this
What
garage
is-
right here.
What is the distance from the line to that garage?
Oh, I would guess probably pretty similar, 2-3 feet. I would guess. I don't know.
And it looks like there's a lot of, in the neighborhood, it looks like that's kind of the norm, is that the
Yeah,
garages.
all of
most
the
them are sitting
garages
lot
on this
lines.
block are not compliant with current zoning. So,
Any other questions? Anybody?
I don't think so.
So you're saying that her vehicle, even if the garage were moved, could get into the garage, but yours could not?
I don't think.
Even
mine-
if you parked in the right side?
Yeah.
I don't think so. Moving over, I don't believe it would.
Does anybody else want to speak? No? Mark, do you have any concerns about this?
It looks like the contractor wants to talk, so we'll let him come up.
Just state your name.
Hello, I'm Aaron Uffman. Thank you.
Hi, Aaron.
So, Philip, you may have said this, but I don't know because I'm a little hard of hearing. But also the problem is yes, you can get the vehicle in there, but you can't back up your vehicle to get out. So if it's moved over, you would have to just go all the way forward, and then she'd have to. That's a pretty long driveway, and you'd have to back all the way up if the property lines, will make this have to be moved over, if the code will make it have to move over. So that's the one thing I wanted to add.
So currently, when you pull in, you don't have to back out? You can turn around in that driveway? Is that what you're saying?
You can turn around now from the spot on this side closest. You can back up toward our deck in that area there. You can turn around up there.
Yeah, you can do your 90-degree and then come on out.
And out you go.
Takes 2 turns to do it.
Okay.
Not with his truck, of course, but with a normal vehicle. So,
Have you received any comments from adjacent property owners, any concerns?
No concerns. Someone just asked what was going on, and I told them, and they said, well, sounds good. We have a garage that's pretty close to the property line, too, so makes sense. So,
So are you adding
No
like
concerns.
an accessory dwelling structure above it, or is it just aesthetics?
Just for the aesthetics, for that,
Okay.
that dormer that's on top right there. I mean, it's that architectural style. I mean, if we had to move it over 5 feet to the right, we have a covered area today very similar to that. If we have to move it over 5 feet this direction, we will not have that covered area out there. I mean, we don't want to cut into our yard that much.
and not that this is relevant to this board, but this garage will also go before the Historic Preservation Committee, and they'll take a look at that, too. So, just something to note.
Okay.
Nice. Mark, any concerns?
No.
Okay. Y'all ready?
Yeah. I would move to, oh, I guess you have to, that's right, I always
read
want to
it.
make a motion. You
Oh,
gotta
yep.
read it.
Aaron, will you read it, please? Are we ready to read it?
Yes. Whereas the board does find and determine that the property in question, located at 306 Locust Street, is within the city limits of the city of Washington and is located in an R2 overlay two-family residence zoning district, and whereas City Code Section 400-065, F2 minimum width of side yard 6 feet, and City Code Section 400-150B1 accessory structures may occupy a rear yard, but such accessory structures shall not be nearer than 5 feet to any side or rear lot line, whereas the applicant is requesting a variance from these requirements by proposing a 2-foot side yard setback and allowing accessory structures on this lot within 5 feet of the rear and side property lines, of the rear property line. Now therefore be it resolved that the request to vary the side yard setback distance from 6 feet to 2 feet and allow an accessory structure within 5 feet of the rear property line is hereby granted, provided that all other ordinances and regulations of the City of Washington are met. The city planner is hereby directed to issue a building permit for such garage as described in accordance with this resolution of decision. Roll call. Creedy.
Yes.
Montal.
Yes.
Scornia.
Yes.
Struberg.
Yes.
Wacker.
Yes.
The ayes have it.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Happy building. Beautiful structure.
It is pretty.
It's very pretty.
All right, moving on to file 260302-2601 East Fifth Street sign.
All right. So this is the sign on, well, it faces Highway 100, but the address is off Fifth Street here. This is for Hillerman's, and they got a change of ownership. Is that correct? Or just new branding?
Hoffman bought Hillerman.
Sure. Okay. Change of ownership, new branding, a little bit of both. And essentially what the applicant is asking for here is an exception to our off-street, or excuse me, on-premises sign regulations. So when a lot fronts Highway 47 or 100, the maximum number of square feet is either 250 square feet or 2 square feet of signage per linear footage, per the amount of linear feet that front said highway. And in this case, this red line that I've highlighted here is the math comes out to be much longer than 250 feet. So the applicant is limited to 250 feet as their maximum for an on-premises sign. They are not allowed to reconstruct the sign as it is today. So they are asking for a variance. Their proposal is to reduce the sign's total area to 328 square feet, so still not compliant with our sign code, but smaller than it is today. I recommended approval. You know, I think we're headed in the right direction here, and yeah, if you got any questions, I'm here, and I guess if you want to talk and introduce yourself.
Hello, I'm Matt with Ziegler Signs, and we have reduced the sign size by almost 200 square, well, more than 200 square foot.
Right.
But if we make it much smaller, it's going to be hard to read, and you won't be able to see it.
Got a question. So the total square footage, is it defined as total rectangular shape of the sign? Because I can see through 75% of that sign. I guess the question is, how is signage is defined, right? The sign itself is not 250 square footage. The overall area of the sign is probably over 250 square feet.
Yeah, you'd only be counting the font. I don't think that'd be.
I mean, if it was a
Assume
billboard,
you'd-
it'd be a billboard, it's something different, right?
I
It's
would
totally
assume
square.
You would count by external dimensions.
That is correct,
Okay. Okay.
unless Mark says otherwise. Yep.
Which in effect would make the sign easier to read, but much uglier,
Correct.
right?
I read in the proposal, the hardships you're facing are simply the economic hardship of working on a hill that size.
It's a pretty steep hill right there.
Yeah,
We're not changing any of the structure. We're leaving the posts as is.
that's what your hope is, yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, we've
So
already been
you're-
out there and surveyed it. It's structurally sound to do that.
Right.
So you're using the same basic sign structure, just shrinking the sign
Old letters
itself?
off, putting the new letters on is what we're
Okay,
proposing.
okay.
Does this actually sit on the property that Hoffman owns? Is that part of their property?
Yes,
Okay.
it does. Yeah, it's a big. Let's see if I can get back to it. Yeah, so this whole
That's all theirs.
thing is all theirs. Yep, and the sign's right here, and then Hoffman's main thing is right here.
Okay.
So.
Okay. Anybody have any questions or issues? Mark?
The only thing I would say is, you know, if it were, you know, not replacing the larger sign, you know, we're diminishing the sign, which I think is great. You know, I would probably still be opposed to it if it were over the square foot, just because of the square foot limit. However, because it's replacing an existing sign, then it doesn't cause me pain.
Yeah.
Correct.
I tend to agree with
that's
what you're
my-
saying, especially since they're using existing structure. Because we had a similar thing come before us where they were reusing existing structure and shrinking the size, and to me, that seems reasonable,
It's an improvement.
yes.
It always came down, I was on the county planning and zoning board for a while, and billboards were always a big thing. And when a billboard was damaged and the sign fell off,
Yes.
as long as the foundations were still there, you could put the same size sign back, which always,
I think our ordinance says something about 50% or something like that. If more than 50% is damaged, it has to
But
go
the-
back.
That's, yeah, it's something like that,
Yeah.
but usually everybody always rules that the foundations are
Oh,
more than
yeah, it-
50%
yeah,
of the
sure,
sign cost,
yeah.
right? So they always put back the same size sign. So I find this being the same thing, right? The foundations are there, you're just replacing the facing that's on the sign.
Yeah, I think our sign code is a bit more restrictive to, you know, damaged and damaged signs and renovating signs. You know, we kind of do a good job about getting things in compliance when those updates happen. So
Do we know how many other signs are along the highway, other than billboards, of course, but do we know any other signs?
How many signs are on?
The highway, that would be similar to this
She's saying
one, not a
that.
billboard, but,
It's a unique sign.
It is I
Yeah.
don't know of any
Mo-
that are exactly
most
like
are-
that. Most of them are,
On the building.
yeah, they're
Right.
either on the building or it's a billboard or it's a, you know, some other.
Phoenix Center, you have that monument sign there.
Right, but
Oh,
it's
yeah.
not like that. That one's kind of unique in its design. So, yeah, I don't know what else to compare that to, really.
Is anybody opposed to this that wants to speak?
Right?
I'm torn.
Yeah, same.
And the reason is because, and the reason I asked if there were other signs, because who else is going to come forward then? You know, we have an ordinance for a reason, and, you know, it's difficult for me to approve or, you know, agree to something like this when that property is all owned by Hoffman, and if that were the only one there, continuously be the only one there, I can't see where people aren't going to see it.
I think we'd all be welcome if somebody wanted to take any sign they had and take 200 square feet out of it.
Yeah. That's what I was saying previously, Lori, that, you know, if it were becoming a new sign, whatever, I would be opposed to it, no doubt, end of sentence, period. However, the part that gives me relief is the fact that it's, you know, reducing an existing sign.
and that's staff's position as well, that, you know, we're working towards compliance. You know, this isn't perfect, but we're headed in the right direction for sure.
Right, because they could just leave the sign as it is. I mean, but
And
it
then they would
does-
have a bigger sign. Yeah.
Right, they would have a bigger sign if they just left it. I mean, I guess they could leave it as it is and put a little Hoffman sticker right over the Hillerman, and then that would actually be less attractive, I think. So,
Mark, is that defensible?
Yes. You're taking a sign that's non-conforming and making it less non-conforming. So as somebody said, you're heading in the right direction.
Is that a legal term?
Yeah.
Okay.
yes, it is a legal term. It is.
If they were taking the sign and relocating it, even relocating it to another location on the same piece of property, I think you'd have a different situation. But since you're using the same foundations, you're using the same structure, you're basically putting a new facing on it.
But I do agree with Lori, we're only growing.
Yeah.
Right, I mean, I agree with you too, that there are
So what
rules
kind
for
of
a
precedent are we
reason.
setting? But,
I don't know if Mark agrees with this, but I think the precedent that we're setting is, you know, if you have a current non-conforming sign and you want to make it less non-conforming, but not, you know, compliant, that would be the precedent that we're setting, which I think is, you know, as you said, then it gets back to who else is in this situation. And I don't know.
I think we still.
Not too many people.
What's the requir,
One of their options would be to leave the sign that's there today, and not do anything with it, in which
Right.
case it's still not conforming.
Right,
It's much larger than what
we'd like it to be.
Proposing, yes.
right, right. So I think we still have to look at these on a case-by-case basis, because there may be a situation where, you know, it's simply not appropriate, but this seems to be reasonable, in my estimation.
You just summed up why this board exists.
Exactly. Well, yeah, I mean,
She's good at that.
exactly.
Okay, can we read it? Everybody ready to vote? All right, please read.
All right. Whereas the board does find and determine that the property in question located at 2601 East 5th Street is within the city limits of the city of Washington and is located in a C2 general commercial zoning district And whereas City Code Section 405035A states that the maximum total area of freestanding on-premises signs shall not exceed the lesser of the following, either 250 square feet or 2 square feet per foot of street frontage for properties along Highway 47 or 100. And whereas the applicant is requesting a variance from these requirements by proposing a 328 square foot sign along Highway 100. Now therefore be it resolved that the request to vary the code will allow a 328 square foot sign granted, provided that all other ordinances and regulations of the City of Washington are met. The city engineer is hereby directed to issue a building permit for such dwellings as described in accordance with this resolution of decision. All right, roll call. Creedy?
Yes.
Montal?
Yes.
Scornia?
Yes.
Wacker?
Yes.
Struberg?
No.
All right, ayes have it.
Thank you very much.
Building, thank you. Anyone want to call this meeting closed?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
So adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's still argue it's not a 250 square foot.
That's why we
Frontage sign.
insist. And, you know, and I struggle because I really want signs to be compliant. I mean, as I was on P and Z when we redid the sign code, and there was a lot of time and thought
Better be
that
in
went
the code.
into that. And it's, I think compliance is.
I agree
really
with you if it's in the code that way,
I
but
wanna
probably not.
I guess my take on it is, you know, the fact that, like Mark said, they're less non-conforming, because I could
Sure, and
totally
I get
see
that.
them, you know, they could leave their sign right
on
there
to
and
the
then
next
slap
meeting.
a Hoffman tag on it, and then it would be worse.
Yeah.
Got another meeting?
And I hear what everyone's saying. I just, I don't want to set a precedent.
And I agree with you, I don't think, you know, I definitely don't wanna say, oh, well, if you just come and make it, you know, a couple feet smaller, then we're good.
Right.
No, I agree.
Right,
I agree.
yeah. All right. 5:20 and we're done.
What would be the requirement if wind blew that thing down and you had to put it back up? Would be?